Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can everybody wave and hear me if you can hear me? Because I remember what happened last time. So I want to make sure that we're good here. And I'm not sounding like I'm talking to you on a radio from the 1920s. Okay, great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being members. And thank you so much for all your kind words. It really, you have no idea. I was blown away. And oh, it really did help. I want you to know that it really did help. And I appreciate all your support. And I'm going to tell you what happened just real quick because I'm going to set a timer on this too, because I don't want to go too much into it. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it through like an astrological context. So it's like so you can learn from how astrology is real and how it really had a huge impact on me. I'll let a few more people. What time is it? Also, I don't have my glasses. I'll explain that too. Um, how's everybody doing? It's so great to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending your morning with me. And I won't take up too much of your time, but I always love connecting with y'all. And you know that. You know I love interacting with y'all. It's one of my favorite things. But again, I really do appreciate all your love and support. And for Ruby, I will tell you what happened to her too. It has been the craziest 2 weeks for me. I can't even, I can't even. Okay. So what happened is it was like the end of August, and it was the day that Uranus was going retrograde. At the same time, Pluto was going retrograde. Other things were happening. All right. Remember, I'm going to try to talk you through this through an astrological lens. But I took Ruby out for a walk, and then I came home and I basically collapsed. And when I woke up, that's when I noticed like all the body aches and the chills, and the fever. And so I took care of myself that day, and it just kept getting stronger and stronger throughout the day. When you get fever dreams, I was getting like fever dreams, like it was that intense. And then the stomach pain came like really, 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 really intensely. And so I just kind of assumed that I had a stomach bug, stomach flu. The times that I was lucid, I would actually Google. I mean, I'm very like I just need to know things. And apparently, it said like most of the research that I saw from sources that are reliable said that it would pass within 2 to 3 days. And in my head, I knew that I didn't eat anything unusual. I didn't know where it came from. So I was like, okay, I can tough this out for 2 days. The second day, it got worse. My fever got higher. And I was in like a lot of pain. And by the third day, when the second day, I would have these strange bouts of just like sweating profusely for like an hour, and then again like later. It was so I thought my body was fighting it. And turns out it wasn't. And so I went to the urgent care down the street the next day, and they just told me they did like a check on my stomach, and they told me to go to the ER emergent like immediately. And so I found out that I had an infection, and I don't want to go into too much details because it was I don't want to get too detailed here, but I had stomach infection that was pretty severe. And so it was pretty intense. They had to put me on morphine. Like the pain was really, really bad. And so once I left, I was put on antibiotics, two different types of antibiotics. And I didn't know, no one told me that the antibiotics would mimic the pain for 10 days. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you get like a flu shot or whatever, it kind of like mimics that flu, or you know what I mean? Like for that little bit. But so it was like 10 days of that. And so I just came off the antibiotics. And so I'm still, like recovering, and it'll take a couple more weeks, but I am better. And, just seeing your messages coming through, all like it was so meaningful for me. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It was pretty like I've never experienced anything like that. Now, um, with Ruby, the day that I got out of the hospital, I noticed that she was walking a little strange, but she didn't show any signs of pain. And the morning after that, I that's when I could tell like she just wasn't walking right. And so I had to take her to the emergency, like physical therapist that she has. And it turned out she had a tear in her knee. Like it would be equivalent to like the ACL, right? Partial tear. So it wasn't like a full tear, but it was a partial tear. And so I had to then go to her vet right after. And so we're now in the process of all that. And it's been like, that happened like right after I got out of the ER. So it's been like a really tough, like, it's been a week. It's been a week, and the entire time that I was supposed to rest and recover, I couldn't because I was taking care of her. I don't know if any of y'all have a pet who's been, like Ruby, who, we've been working on months on her herniated discs, on her hip issue, and now she has this knee thing. And so taking care of a pet, like it's very it's you have to give a lot of love and nurturing, and she's obviously Ruby, so she deserves it all. But it is, she would wake me up at odd hours in the night, really early in the morning, really late at night. Like I've slept maybe 5 hours a day for the past 2 weeks, if at all. So I'm just coming out of it. Ruby is going through she's back in the stroller. She can only walk about 15, 20 minutes a day again. So it's starting from scratch. Now, how is this through an astrological context? Well, um, and check your charts too, because there's a lot that I'm about to throw at you, because and I want you to, we are in Virgo season, so it's all about health, and I've explained this, so I want you to all, mind your health, and just it's just a thing, have some focus on that. But remember I said the weekend that this happened, Uranus was going retrograde. Well, I natally have Uranus in my sixth house of health. Health and pets. Okay, that's what the sixth house rules. Sixth house also rules bacteria. It rules your digestive system, even the nervous system, because it's Mercury ruled. All right. So I was hit pretty hard with that Uranus retrograde. At the same time, Pluto was retrograding. And remember, I said the bookends of these retrogrades are really strong. And so when Pluto goes retrograde, it went back into Capricorn. And even just for me um, as an Aquarius, that's my 12th house, right? And the 12th house is, I always say it's the subconscious, it's things beyond the physical plane, but it is also like isolation. There's part of isolation in the 12th house, and the 12th house does rule like hospitals, all right? And even as a Gemini rising, with the fact that Uranus retrograded, in Taurus, that's the 12th house too. And so there was a lot that like indicated to me, okay, something might happen with Uranus. You just never know. You have absolutely no idea. And so it just hit me really, really hard, because it was a stomach infection and whatnot. And it was definitely linked to a lot of stress. And I thought I was like fine with it, but it was like, how sometimes you can have those underlying stresses, like you think that you've covered this. I'm like, okay, I'm good here and I'm good here. I've recognized this, but there's always something that sneaks up. And so there was something that was like kind of like really, really deep. And I think it just needed to come out, because, the 12th house is the subconscious. And if you want to go even deeper, just, a day or two after that, Mars moved into Cancer. And so as an Aquarius, if you're an Aquarius, Mars in Cancer is our sixth house. And again, that is health, it's pet, everything that I just named earlier. But I natally have Mars in Cancer in my birth chart. So, and then all of this is happening during Virgo season. And remember, we were on the onset of that new moon in Virgo, and there was a lot of other aspects that were happening during that new moon in Virgo. And Virgo rules health and self-care, as I mentioned in your past readings. So it's been a journey. and it's gonna take me some time to probably, like, just the rest of the month. I mean, like, I'm better now. I can actually have, like, a conversation with you, and, I did your readings and that's the thing is, like, I was meant to rest and recover, but I have such an active mind, and I don't know if y'all have been on bed rest. Oh my goodness, like, sometimes, like, you have to do something. You have to do something. So, it was fine. It was only, like, an hour a day. I would have to just spread it out. Luckily, I got time off work, okay? So, I did have time to for that, to, start the self-healing process, but it was pretty intense. And the last time Uranus went retrograde last year in 2023, I got COVID. So it's like I knew, so I was just like, I don't know what, but it was like I couldn't believe it was like on the day. It was on the day. And that's how, some of these aspects work. And they can happen like on the day for you. It can, be a strong process. So again, I take care of your health. Be mind has any I hope everyone's been good health-wise as well. I hope everyone's been really great. Yeah. And I'm seeing all your messages. Thank you so much for all your messages. It's like and I'm not even wearing my glasses, so I can hardly I might have to like squint at them. Oh, Romania. Hi from Romania. That's so cool. Delia. Ooh, you're a Gemini. So yeah, and then during that time, because and that's the thing is like it depletes your energy. So I had no energy, and you probably see that in the readings. I'm trying so hard to like, and a lot of it's just trying to, for me personally, to just get my energy back. But there was one moment, it was about a week ago, where I was just in the kitchen, and like the next thing I knew, I like woke up, I was on the ground, like I had fallen, and I broke my glasses in half, and so I haven't had time to replace them. Well, no, I did. But I ordered new glasses and they will come. But it was a really uh crazy period. It was a really crazy period. And I think a lot of it had to do with with a lot of like that was going on with Ruby. And I think I may have mentioned in a past live stream that I have like this big conference next week, and it's like I have to go, and it's like it's a 4-day conference, and they're full days, and there's a lot of work that I had to do before that. And so it was just like that on top of everything else. And I think it was just, there was just a lot that was happening. So there you go. There's some aspects for you to think about. Jupiter, Jupiter squaring Mars, obviously. I'm sorry, Mars square. Well, yeah, Jupiter opposite Saturn, Jupiter squaring Mars, Saturn squaring Mars. All of that is like real. Okay, so it's really, it's been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks. Because then that has to do with like a lot of other things that I'm thinking about. And anyway, how are y'all doing? Let's talk about this eclipse. Y'all, it's in 2 days. It's in 2 days. Isn't that crazy? We got an eclipse in 2 days. Let me see some of your comments here. Oh, someone else has did I just see? Okay. Thank you so much. Anita, you said you have Uranus in your sixth house as well. You're having to watch your diet so closely. Yes, Uranus in sixth house is very interesting. It is, and it is like for me, it's Scorpio, and not I don't think a lot of people know. Well, Uranus is actually like kind of it's pretty much exalted in Scorpio, but it is remember the unexpected. So sixth house is everyday activities as well. It can be like you are just constantly doing different things. You can be bored about things and start new things. And um Deli, you had a stomach upset as well. Yeah, well, hopefully everyone just like really pay attention to your health, and it's taking care of yourself is really what it is. I'm not saying anyone else, like anyone, like everyone like is going to be getting sick or whatever. I'm just saying like it's just a good time to like focus on health. And I think that there was a point of me just letting it go, and it was a really tough like with Ruby, with like everything that's happening with Ruby, and then the whole knee injury happened, and so it's a lot of like vet visits, physical therapy visits. She's gone through a lot. And you know how much I love Ruby. She's gone through so much. So I let her rest as much as I can. But this eclipse, anyone, y'all, so the big thing about this eclipse, it's happening in 2 days. Have y'all been preparing for it? Remember, what's the key word, y'all? What's the key word I told y'all in your readings for this eclipse? Julie, you're a Pisces, you're a little apprehensive. Oh, don't be, don't be. Every Pisces I know has like new things happening for them in like really special ways. You should, yeah, I would be excited about it. I would be very excited about it. There were obviously like the past few weeks and even August, we had some, I call it cosmic storms and cosmic weather that affected everyone in a way where it was just like, okay, like I just want to get out of this. And it's kind of like, I actually love this eclipse. It's a great eclipse. It's a great eclipse. It is I'm going to try to say some things that without repeating them in your forecast. And again, I had to make your forecast. I wanted to talk so much more, but I just knew, having to do 12 signs is like, I have to just keep it a little bit shorter. But I mean, just remember, it's at 26 degrees. And that's a cardinal degree. So even though it's a lunar eclipse, things coming to an end, culmination, things ending for you. I mean, they're still like, get it done. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this energy with this eclipse. And in it to win it. And I truly say like in it to win it because Pisces at 26 degrees, well, 2 6 equals 8. 8 is, again, we all know 8 is a great number, prosperity, success, but also, it's linked to the planet Saturn. And so Saturn is going to conjunct the eclipse. And remember, it's a series of eclipses that's happening until 2026. So lunar eclipse, we're gonna have a few more. We're gonna have a few more, okay, in Pisces. And so it is. I think someone left a comment early. Someone left a comment about even like the degrees of it. So the next one is going to be at like 11 degrees. That's not until September though. But the fact they're all lunar eclipses, it's all kind of just like wrapping things up for new things. So it's very spiritual. It's Pisces. So this one, the fact that it's conjuncting Neptune, oh my gosh, y'all could feel first of all, there's a lot of creative energy behind this eclipse with it being at 26 degrees, but Neptune is conjuncting it. Remember, Neptune can bring that fog. And so what's really interesting about this eclipse is that some of y'all may not know what you want. And that's fine because you're going to have that clarity and you're going to know what you want and you're going to see the things that you're like, I'm starting to see what I need to release. Remember, eclipses, they come in pairs. They tell a story every 19 years. So the last one was 2006, 2008, it was in the nodes, the Pisces Virgo nodes, lunar nodes. But this is definitely, just think of what's going to be happening like 6 months after this. And again, remember, you're going to get an idea of like what your life might be like in 2025. And so it's fine if because Neptune is going to bring that fog. And that's why I say, just be true to you, just be your authentic self. But the fact that it's Neptune in its domicile in Pisces at, that's a lot of psychic energy, intuitive energy. So you could really, really have these moments of awakening and clarity around this eclipse. And again, eclipses can happen like you could feel the effect of it on the day. Some of y'all, I mean, this is a partial eclipse. Some of y'all could feel it within the next few weeks, but it really is one chapter of your, it's really just something coming to an end, something beginning, but being able to release the thing that you need to release. And it's so funny because they're like, let me give you an example from me. I know what it is, but I'm not doing it yet. Because there is and only because I know that there's a lot of things that hinge on the direction I'm going the week after. So that's why I'm like, okay, at least I'm aware of what I have to release. And there's that fogginess, like, oh gosh, do I do this? Do I not? But for me, just because of some things that are happening, the week after, that's what's going to bring that clarity that I need. And that's when I'm going to like release, but I'm aware of it and I'm starting to release because I know that it's already happening and I'm already feeling the shift. So it's I want you to do it at your comfort level, okay? The moon in Pisces, by the way, this is a super moon. Go see it. It's going to be amazing. I think it's happening really late at night, the eclipse. Anyway, the moon in Pisces is so strong. It's so strong. Neptune in Pisces is also really strong. Remember, Neptune is conjuncting this eclipse. It's in its rulership. So some of y'all like really might wake up and just, have these visions and like have these intuitive moments. And remember, it's a full moon. And so emotions can be heightened as well. We have Mars and Cancer already. I mean, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening here. And then you may even start having these like expectations versus like reality because Mercury is really strongly in the picture as well. And it's domicile and exaltation. Having expectations and so things make sense for you. All right. And so again, for me, I know that the things that the facts, the reality of things, like whatnot, like that, uh, the logic behind what's happening in my life. Like I know that I'm going to have a lot more clarity toward the end of the eclipse, but even still, the eclipse, again, you will feel it. Like you could start feeling it weeks before, weeks after. But just know it is a time to release. And sometimes the eclipse will show you signs saying, this has got to go. This has got to go. Um, yeah, there's remember, it's just so much mutable energy, which is just change. It's change. Anyone having any big eclipse moments? Bucci, you say pets are like children. Oh yeah, absolutely. Pets are like children. And that's, and it's so funny because that's I like speaking of this eclipse, with Saturn being so strong here and Saturn again with all the Saturn squares that we've been having, that affects my second house of money. Mars has moved into Cancer for me, that, money for me as well. Or finances, right? Second house. And I've been feeling it for quite some time. Mars and Cancer is really gonna like bring out that emotional side of me. It's been, and you'll feel that squeeze and everyone's going to feel it in a different part of their sign, right? Everyone's going to feel it. um or their who yeah, in your sign, your rising, etc. So it really is, it's something that, just to show you another thing, because I was just talking about this. I'm going to have brunch after this with a Pisces friend and Aquarius friend. And two of my closest friends are Aquarians and we've known each other for like 20 years and we're one day apart. Birthday was January 27th, 28th, 29th. And we're just, the conversations, like if you were a fly on the wall, it's crazy because it does affect like our second house of finances. And, just with Ruby, I've, all her, physical therapies, the MRIs, the vet visits, the, craniosacral, the acupuncture, the shock therapy, laser therapy, the, even to like the rugs I have to buy for, for her to walk on in the apartment, the straw, like everything added up. I mean, it was it was a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I don't, not, but like a lot. And so that's been something that something else happened as well, but I'm not gonna even bring that up. So you'll see these squares happen in your life where you feel, Saturn does bring that pressure, a little bit of that pressure, a little bit of that squeeze, but then at the same time, you have to make sense of it and you have to, work with Saturn's energies. Like I said, Saturn is karma. And with a lot of the, let's say like wild energies and aspects that we've been having lately, I feel like a lot of people can be in places that have been really feeling the impact, right? And so it really is just continuing to be your authentic self and vibrate at this high frequency and don't let any of that affect you and just learn from these experiences because I'm learning a lot through it, and I'm learning to, be more attentive to certain things and re-strategize. And life is just cycles, and sometimes we can be, a little anxious about cycles. There's always been like the fear of the unknown, right? The fear of like future and whatnot. But once you get used to the fact that these are cycles that are happening, and I have to be willing to accept things that are happening that are, not out of like that are out of my control, because I know that I'm going to be rewarded for it, because I am being my, in touch with my higher self. I am attracting what I want to attract. And I know that, life is not a, Aladdin movie or a Disney movie or whatever. There's going to be challenges sometimes, and it's working with it. So I hopefully that y'all can, really understand that, because and I say that so strongly because we are going through some really, really fiery times. So just again with this eclipse, just know, remember, I think I said in your forecast, like there's no walls in Pisces. Okay. It's just it's all about like, what do you believe? What do you believe? What dream do you have that you want to go forward? Is it real? Is it something that you really, really, truly want? Are there external circumstances that are kind of like trying to talk you out of it? Like, if they are you being true to you? Ask yourself that. Like, it really is all about going within and trusting your intuition. And that, again, that's gonna make the biggest difference. So the best way to handle the energies of this eclipse is I say this all the time. Be present. That's what enlightenment is, in the moment, right? So be present. And so don't distract yourself. Don't get caught up in, news and whatnot. That can be like rabbit holes. Take a break. Take a break. The great thing about Ruby's physical therapy, it's like all the way, or it's like an hour away from me, but it's right next to Central Park. And so afterward, like, we go into Central Park, and I take off my shoes and I walk in the grass, and I just have that moment. You will feel that connection. There is that electromagnetic, you will feel, listen, you feel really good. So even like being in touch with nature, but being present in the moment all the time, like just being aware. And when I say aware, the fact, like, and I'm gonna repeat this a lot in a lot of the live streams, just so it just makes sense for you. Being aware of the moment. Like me, for instance, I'm aware of the fact that I'm looking at a camera right now. I'm talking to y'all. There's a microphone here, windows over here, Ruby's on the ground next to me. I'm aware in my moment. Okay. So I'm aware of who I am, what I'm doing, things like that. I know it sounds a little. I mean, maybe I'll talk about more about that in a future. But that's what, like, I'm talking about. That's like being with it, but also working with your chakras. All right, working with your chakras that will help like make you feel wholesome and even like invincible. Like, I am who I am. Opening up your heart chakra. I'm like good. I'm amazing. That's what I'm talking about. So, um, living intentionally, choosing to as well. Remember what I said about like with Mars and Cancer, that's gonna test a lot of like your emotions, especially in relationships, especially with what's coming up with that, Libra season. We got Mercury going into Libra. We have a lot, we're about to have the equinox soon. So you will feel like emotionally charged. You're gonna see that from me too. I'm not gonna you're gonna see, like I said, I have Mars and Cancer in my chart, so I get it. And once it retrogrades, it's gonna hit this degree. My like, you're gonna see it from me. You're gonna see me emotionally charged, but it's how you handle those emotions that really matter the most. And why this is so important right now, not only because of the aspects that we're about to move into, but we really are moving into this era, this new era. I mean, do you feel it? Do you feel it? We're moving into this new era, this great awakening. People are starting to wake up, and the more people that are awake, the more that we're all vibrating at this high frequency. And it just, it does really good. It does really good. All right. So, does anybody have any questions so far? Eclipse questions, Eclipse anything about this eclipse, just remember this is part of a story being told for the next 2 years until 2026. All these lunar eclipses in Pisces that we will be having, and just know that there's, even with the Virgo axis as well. So we're just beginning. If you want to think about it, yeah, 2025, just it's going to start in 2 days. For you. I mean, it's hitting everyone in different ways, again, in different houses, different areas of your chart. So any questions so far before I continue? Because there's something else I do want to talk about before going into like I took notes and like I just, just some channeling. What let me just see. Y'all are so amazing. Y'all, I'm so glad that y'all have made everything. Just the number of comments, like it just really, it did like, and I was emotional in the hospital too, so it like brought me to tears. So thank you so much. As he says, stress will make your body so weak and will sneak up on you. I need to start watching my diet. Yeah, that's true. And it's, yeah, very, very true. I think a lot of it was like burnout energy. Again, I think a lot of things added up. And there was a moment where some things were just sneaking up on me. There was a lot of things that started happening at one time, like all starting in August. And I was on top of it, but there were other things that were sneaking in that I think it was, and it is linked, right? Like stress. So don't stress, be cool. Try, water flows. And here I am telling y'all after I had like a whole thing. But again, I think I actually needed that reset to just so yeah, I will still continue to do your videos, and there may be a week though because of this, because I lost 2 weeks, and then I have this conference coming up, and again, it's like a 4-day, all-day thing, and so I'm just going to be backed up, and I just don't want to like stress. So there may be a week where I don't have your readings, but I will do October because there's so much to talk about. We kick it off with that eclipse. Remember, they come in pairs. We have another eclipse coming. Marty, you said, note to self, you wake up from passing out, take yourself to the hospital. Yeah, I know. I should have. I should have. But I knew it was a lot. And it was like a lot of like dehydration as well. And so I knew that it was something that, well, I did see my doctor the next day. So I was like, I'm just going to wait for that. So yeah. And I told him all about it. I'm getting really personal with y'all. I'm getting really personal. So yeah, a lot of people are just like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, Suzanne, you are here. Kauai, 5:30 a.m. Oh my goodness. Well, good morning to you. Kauai is very lovely. It's so jealous you get to live in Hawaii, in Kauai. That's amazing. I think I went to a food truck there once. That was amazing. They did pizza. I don't know if that still exists. Does it? uh your Virgos seemed so great, but the Taurus seemed tough, and as usual, you try to give the bad news positively. Bucci. Yeah, well, of course, because like, what am I gonna do? Like tell you like no, because it's the energies, right? Where it's always the energies. And my goal here is to uplift you. So, like I said, yeah, I think even think I said in like one of your readings that I think there was like a spread where it was just like everything was amazing. And sometimes I'm just like, like I do like it when, some harder cards come out, because I love to guide you and I want to give you the advice and I want to tell you what's happening. I want to tell you how to overcome it. Like that's what, I think that it gets me really, worked up. But it is always going to happen, right? It's always going to happen. There's always going to be like challenges and whatnot, but some might be a little bit more effortless. And it is the way that you talk about it, right? Like that I'm very much invested in and believe in like the power of like the hermetic principles, mentalism, all of it, right? As above, so below. Like, I don't want to put like negative energy out there, and I don't want you to take away negative energy either. Okay. So there is a way to, discuss things in a way that is more like, let's will address this, but in this way where you can feel empowered. Okay. Um, Oh, Susan Perry. You have Aquarius and a moon with Virgo rising. Wow, your career is probably what's going on with career for you? Dang. Okay. And you've been going through an awakening, ascension signs that have been happening since last October. Things have been wild since last year. You are a blessing. Well, I thank you so much. Yeah, and it is still going to be. Listen, I'm just gonna give you a heads up right now. Like I did say this for the beginning of the year. The first 6 months, like, yes, everything's cool. We're sitting in a convertible. We got a dog and, the passenger seat, kangaroo in the back. We're all drinking Diet Cokes. We're going to the beach, the wind blowing in the hair, like really nice, right? Really nice. Um, and then the last 6 months, it's just, with all the retrogrades, it's eclipse season. There's squares, there's oppositions. Mars is going to oppose Pluto. You're going to start feeling that soon. There's all the, Mars going retrograde. So it's not like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's a lot of reflection, right? A lot of going within with the retrogrades and changes with the eclipses. We did have obviously eclipses in the beginning of the year. Those were powerful, but they were not happening at the time of like certain other aspects that were happening this time. So, but even still, let's yeah, buckle up. Buckle up. October. Oh, the really good like oh, Gene, where are you, Gene? Oh, yeah, next week we're gonna do the monthly October and oh wow, that's a month. Um mm. Oh, Kita, thank you so much for the $10. That really helps. That's gonna I get to go eat a bagel. Thank you so much. Yeah. I really appreciate it. And I love that little fox hugging the heart. That's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for all your wonderful messages. As you said, we seem to go from tower moment to tower moment, how we learn to handle it and grow from it. Yes. And I see tower moments as a blessing. When I do readings for friends or, even, on occasion, every reader does this. Like I'll, pull some cards for myself for, like right before I go to bed or something. And I will get tower cards, and I actually embrace it. I'm like, yes, please help, like break this down so I can move forward. I don't even care how it break it. I want to just continue to move forward, and I want to experience life, and I want to appreciate life. And sometimes you have to have those hard moments to have those really big moments of appreciation. And so I think that, I think the tower card is one of the best cards in the deck. And like I said, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And a lot of readers can interpret it like the ways they want to, but after just doing this for so long, it is one of those like blessing in disguises, like later, just like, oh, actually, such a relief, such a relief. And, in some instances, a lot of like you can tell when I do your spread, you can tell like when you pull clarifiers and stuff that you actually want it too. You want it too. So it's been yeah, tower is a good, but the moon card is really big right now. Strength card is really strong right now as well. Even the star, yeah, the star. Remember, this is an eclipse, and Pluto is going to be going back into Aquarius. September, October, in 2 months for 20 years, and there's a lot happening. Bucci, you asked, why are we not supposed to manifest during this eclipse? You can't. Well, so here's the thing. I tell you to manifest every day. You want to manifest every day. And I do that every day. I actually do it a couple times a day. Like I am constantly manifesting and I'm always saying but it's out of gratitude. I'm always like thanking the universe. Thank you so much for giving Ruby the opportunity to heal, because you always have to look at the positives of any negatives, right? So thank you for giving her the opportunity to heal. I'm really excited to get on that timeline where she's running and laughing and full of joy and whatnot. And thank you for letting this happen in my life. And so I do things like that every day. But with an eclipse, the reason I think just like traditionally, historically, is because eclipses are so strong and they are like what is it? Full stop. They're full stop, and it's like lunar eclipses, full moons, things are coming to an end. So I mean, you can if you want to. You can if you want to. There's no reason why you shouldn't. It's just like traditionally, it's more the new moon. That's the energy that's going to pull from you manifesting, right? That new moon. But the full moon is more about like something coming to completion, closure. Eclipses are just like, again, they can eclipse things out of your life. They are game changers as well. So yeah, you can absolutely manifest. There's no like hard rule. It's just, new moons really open up these new portals that give you this, like, you have so much power with those. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Danielle, you said life has been a full roller coaster. For sure, I'm trying to stay grateful and feel more spiritual going to church, but life is undoubtedly and challenging. It's great for me as a solo single man of four. Well, mama. I was gonna say, wait, what? Mama of four. LOL, not man. But yes, Danielle, like, first of all, it's great to see you. It's always great to see you all the time. Thank you so much for being a member. Thank you so much for being here. But yes, I again, it is really holding on to that. And remember what I said, Saturn is like tests, and Saturn's conjuncting this eclipse. I mean, so Saturn like will test you. Saturn's tested me for many months now, and you're still going to feel that. But again, you're going to start feeling rewarded with all the Saturn trines that are coming up. We have and that, like, October, there's a lot of great stuff happening. And but it's also like the planet of like responsibility. So it can, like I said, you can feel that squeeze and that pressure when that happens, especially with this eclipse. But with this eclipse, it really is more of relief and release, just letting some things go. And but I'm glad that, yes, life has definitely been roller coastery, and you're gonna see that. You're gonna see, like, remember what I said, like, emotions are going to be heightened with Mars, and with, going to Cancer, and with these eclipses, and even with Neptune at the degree it's at retrograde. There's so many things happening where emotions are heightened, people are not holding back. And once we get deeper into it, I feel like Mars going to Leo is going to be really strong. That's really strong. But then Venus moving into Scorpio, that's going to be really strong as well. That really amplifies it. So it really is a time where it really is amplifying a lot of energies. Okay. But again, as long as you're being your authentic self, remember, Saturn is Chronos, Saturn is time. Sometimes it takes time to go through these energies. And for me, the past 2 weeks truly felt like a year. It was like it's like one of those, like, I don't even have, like, the way when you're in so much like pain and whatnot, where you can't even like read or like watch TV or even send a text, like that kind of. And it was just like I couldn't even believe it. I've never experienced anything about like that in my life, so I'm glad it's over. But that's the key word, is like, it's over. And so some things just take time, and I'm very proud of you for hanging in there. I mean, like, 4 kids, single mom. Oh my goodness. You get a huge shout out. I'm giving you a huge shout out for just being you, for just being you. Oh my god, I'm about to start crying. Okay. This is my Mars and Cancer. I'm sorry. I get I'm emotional. I've actually like cried in some of y'all's readings. I don't know if you, I mean, uh, okay. So, any other questions about this eclipse? Everyone, I want you to be excited for the things that you are going to release. Okay. And it has been a month of release with, Venus conjuncting the South Node that happened a few weeks ago. That's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. We've got a couple more. We got a couple more. This, even like the new moon solar eclipse, and well, I'll wait until the monthly forecast. But yeah, you're in a process of letting things go to make room for new things in your life. Okay. Mm. Oh, Julie, you said you are very uplifting. Appreciate that so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, Anita, you're taking an astrology course about your own pace. So if I don't have time 1 week, it is okay. Okay, great. That's great that you're taking an astrology course. That's amazing. And you're gonna see a lot more. I feel like we are entering that area, right? Especially with Pluto moving to Capricorn. I don't know if y'all know that. Oh, sorry, Aquarius. I don't know if you know this, but Aquarius does rule space. It does rule like that's why when you see like other, maybe like astrologers or whatever, they're usually in Aquarius, or they're an Aquarius rising, or there's some sort of Aquarius. It's really interesting and fascinating to think about. Leah Henry, you asked, where can I check my charts? And that is such a great question, because I do have SJ Anderson joining us on a live stream 2 weeks from now. It'll be the last weekend of September. Really, really come to this one. This is SJ Anderson. I cannot talk him up even more. Like, this is he. So obviously I'm very particular about, like, there's so many astrologers, right? But he's uh, one that I completely respect, admire, trust, everything. He is absolutely amazing, and he's going to be talking about rising signs, why it's important, why, how to check your rising sign, like all of that. Okay. Um, and he will talk about charts. But when you ask, where can I check my charts, you can just Google birth chart. A lot of different sites will come up, but I would wait for SJ Anderson. One thing about astrologers is that some use different systems, like Placidus whole house system. Some people make up their own. It's very interesting, and so things can kind of shift in a little way. But you can always just go to astro.com, astro seek, and there's a dash in between it, astro dash seek. Those are reputable. Even Susan Miller, who so astrology zone, but .com. So there's so many different places. I hope that really helped. Buche, you said you really care when you read. Oh, thank you so much. That's why I love when you read. Thank you. Very unique from anyone else. Thank you. And I do that because I want to, I really am truly feel that I was here, called to inspire you, empower you. That's why I'm here. That's why you never hear me talk about like world astrology, mundane astrology. Like, it's sure I can if I want to, if you want me to, I'm happy to. But it's more about your place in it and how you are going to make that difference, and how it's about the role you play. And when you are at this high frequency, when you feel like you can take on the world, when you feel super confident, where I you're gonna have an impact on the people around you. You're gonna have an impact, on social media. You're gonna be spreading that, that high energy frequency. So I do appreciate that, and thank you so much. Um, oh, Kimberly, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it, y'all. That's it really is so helpful. You have no idea. I can now get another iced tea. Yay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being members. Y'all are amazing. I'm uh Kajiso. You said Scorpio moon and rising, Cancer sun, 2 jobs I was sure of slipped away. Huge surprise. The future feels so unknown with 30 O's. I'm joking. That was just 3. Well, yeah, okay. So if you're Cancer sun, Scorpio moon and rising, we do have some oppositions coming up in your sign. In October, it's gonna show a lot in terms of partnerships for you, but remember, you've got a lot of activity that's happening. Like, this eclipse is in your 5th house anyway, so, um, I would work like, I would ask yourself, like, what, like, if, like, your personal transformation, and this goes for everyone, if there are some things that you were seeking, then I made this point maybe even a year ago, how and Kiji, so I hope I'm saying your name right. This is something that is gonna kind of like indirectly answer a question. It might be helpful for everyone else, but there was, and I've talked about this before. There was a time, it was a few years ago, where I was looking for like a new job, and there was one job that I wanted so bad. I had like 7 interviews. It was crazy, and I knew that I had it in the bag. I had spent all this time and energy into it, and I didn't get it. And sure, of course, I was really upset. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why? And so I've come to learn that when those things happen, there's something better around the corner. And lo and behold, just like within weeks later, I was approached by a recruiter, and for another job that I'm at now, that it's just like my dream job, whatever. And so had that gone through, I wouldn't have been in this other job that I really love. So there's always a reason for things, but don't let it affect your energy. You obviously can go through your emotional experiences, but don't get stuck in those emotions. And you're gonna find that you're just gonna be rising above, and you're gonna see why the universe was like, okay, this I was just testing you, see how you're gonna react, see what's gonna go along with this. Bucci, you just refreshed your live on last night with a 432 megahertz music. Thanks, such a moving description. Yes, and all that healing, and I listened, and it's always on in the background. Those, and remember, there's always a different frequency for whatever resonates with you. And so healing music is really nice. It really helped me. I feel that it really helps really Ruby, because she gets less like rah, rah, rah. So it's really, really nice. Oh gosh. Okay, so the messages are going fast. I can't even. Um, Karen, you said the link for scheduling reading with SJ is broken. Do you think there is another link? Oh, that's interesting. Hold on, let me just pull up the. I'm just taking a look real quick. Yeah, let me give it to you here. I'm just gonna put that in there. Okay, so it looks like it's working for me. So you could try again. Marty, you said I'm trying to open my shelter for LGBTQIA youth in Ireland. And also on my healing journey. Will the eclipse help me finish my healing? Well, it depends on like where it is in your chart, or your chart, but remember, there's things that are ending for new things to come through. Okay. And so, yeah, first of all, I love the fact that you're in Ireland. I was just texting with one of my best friends who lives in Dublin, who opened up this school in Ireland, in Dublin, and she's just been having a ball with that. But yes, it really is definitely going to be. Remember what I said, like this eclipse in Pisces, it's so healing, it's so spiritual. Use it because it's happening during Virgo season, which is all about self-care and healing as well. So absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so Julie G, sorry, that I feel like I need to get like, okay, I gotta. Hmm. That's interesting. I've tried to check my moon or rising Scorpio on readings. I wonder if I should. Oh my gosh. Yes. And please, Julie, attend this live stream. Okay. SJ is going to talk, because I've talked about rising signs in a couple of my videos, and you know, I can do another big video on rising signs. I just feel like it's just so much more fun when you're having a conversation with other people, when you get other people involved. And I plan on doing that, bringing a lot more guests on board. Hopefully that live stream goes through, because considering what happened last time, but I'll bring her back to Alex. But yes, um, moon or rising Scorpion readings, do it. I mean, because okay, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna but rising is equally important. It completes the story. And I think that I mentioned in some live streams that when I was like started getting into astrology and horoscopes and whatnot, and this is like when I was really young. Anytime like I would read horoscopes, I would always read my rising first. That's how important it is. That's how important the rising is. It makes it you're tracking the aspects with I'm going to let SJ talk about it, but yes. So it completes the picture is what it does. It totally completes the picture. Um And it's not to say that your sun doesn't matter. Of course it does. That's like your core. That's of course it does. So it's like a little bit of like 50-50, but it really does come down to your chart too. It depends on like how like the emphasis on where houses are, what planets are there, a lot of things. I have a crazy chart. Like mine, I can't even like pretty much like every planet's in detriment in my chart, other than Uranus, funny enough. Um, but no, I'm joking. There's it's I've everyone's got a different chart. Gene, oh my gosh, thank you for the $20. You're amazing. Gene, y'all, you're too good to me. I really appreciate it. It has it means so much to me. It really does. Oh, I think Ruby's waking up. We have to go to this brunch thing. I'm gonna answer a few more questions. Anita, you asked if I had my chart done in late 1980, does it lend anything to have it done again? Oh yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, yes, because 1980. Oh my, that's like 40 years ago. And so, if you were to get your chart done now, yes, absolutely, it's going to be different. Because you probably know your chart, but remember, there's the transits and the aspects. So, if you were to get a reading now, it's gonna be completely different from the reading that you got 40 years ago, right? Because they didn't talk about, the retrogrades coming up. They didn't talk about these eclipses, coming up or and how that's gonna affect you. They didn't talk about the fact that we have Neptune, Saturn moving into Aries, Jupiter moving into, Cancer, Uranus moving into Gemini, Pluto moving into Aquarius. I mean, they didn't talk about any of that for you. I mean, those are the heavyweights for next year, and then you remember the eclipse season that's happening now, so yes. Definitely, you will have a completely different read. Completely different read. And every astrologer has different teachers, they have different backgrounds. So it's you could get a completely different reading from someone who has well, 40 years ago. Let me think about this. We were, Chiron was just becoming a thing around that time. Okay. So maybe they talked about Chiron, maybe not. Okay. Around that time. I mean, like, and there's a lot that's constantly happening. Okay, so yeah, and and Pillow Man, you're right. The it is the rising is where the sun was on the eastern horizon when you were born. But that's what that is. And you talk about the progress chart. Yes, that's great. I love that you know that. And then we will obviously talk about that and with SJ. Um, DJB TV. Oh, you grabbed a reading with SJ. That's great. That's amazing. And again, he is one that is so knowledgeable. You will, and if you watch other astrologers, you'll see them reference him all the time. That's like he's like the king. He's so great. And so I'm very excited for him and he's into tarot. So that's why I really love the fact that he's coming on board. So but yes, he is one of those rare like readings can go like birth chart readings can be like, ballpark 250, 500, 600. I mean, like it can get expensive. So you get value with him. Um, so I am rarely excited. Marty, thank you so much for the $10. That's again, it really, really does help, especially after everything. And I just don't want to be that person that's like I would like tell you like I just want to thank you. Okay. Like I want to just express my gratitude for everything. And for all of y'all. And okay, so let me Wendy, you asked, I don't know my time of birth. So I feel I can't get it figured out. Cancer sun, if I guess moon, Virgo rising. Well, Wendy, here's the thing. Like there are ways to find your rising if you don't have your time of birth. I'll have SJ talk about it. I mean, it's dealing with I don't want to use this jargon that uh there are ways like were you born in the morning, were you born at night, were you born like there are ways to get it. It just takes some time. Okay, it just takes some time to kind of get close to like what you would be as a rising sign, but it is a process. So anyone that doesn't know their birth time, as long as you know, like, around the time you were born or even, like, day or night. There's a difference between the day, having a day chart, night chart. Anyway, so, okay, so just real quickly. Oh gosh, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. This is the first day that I'm like leaving my house to like see friends and just be social. And again, and I encourage everyone to do that because with this eclipse, there's a lot of like I said, isolation. Sometimes you want to be solitary, but it's so healthy to be around other people. But anyway, big thing is that came through is just like this power energy. There is going to be. Oh, by the way, the other thing about SJ, he is a member of ISAR, which is the International Society for Astrological Research. And so that's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. A lot of like spiritual there may be some like astrologers out there on YouTube that there's like a code of ethics with ISAR, and some astrologers have not been following that code of ethics, and it just like gets to a point where it's just like what. But I feel like it is like this Neptune energy. I feel like a lot of them, like many months from now, they may like delete some of the videos that they've made or go back and apologize, but because there's so much of like. Anyway, let's I just want to run through some of this real quick. A lot of power, confidence, but we are definitely going through like an energy of rebirth. Okay, so one thing that I do when I channel, a lot of animals do come through, and they are always like really symbolic. So like a peacock came through in a really strong way. There is still some water stuff that I just want you to be careful about. Water, there's I've been having a lot of water themes come up, and I think I even talked about like that boat, that unfortunate event happened. I still feel like there is going to be another thing, but just know that Venice came up in a way. There may be some news around Venice. And the other thing is I kept getting good job. So good job to y'all for great job. Sorry, great job for really working with the energies. I mean, it really is something that you should be proud of yourself for, because we have gone through some like cosmic storms and weathers, and just be you, just be authentic yourself, and like cut out any noise that is like distracting you from like being in touch with your higher self. All right. That and so great job to everyone. There may be something that is, it's really funny because there's all this like water energy, water stuff that's going on, but there may be some things in the air that's coming through that just some things that you may come up in the news. um I did see like someone in a parachute for some reason, but and something like the other thing is like those solar energies are going to be really strong still. There may be something in a desert that I want you may come in the news, but here's the thing. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because I did get like an image of this very, very old map, and I think it might be like this new discovery or something that we've never seen before. And whatever it is, like I think that there may be some attention around it, which there I would not be surprised with the energies of the moment. But I think that there also is going to be this sense of really, really just being proud of yourself is like the main thing for it's in like how far you've come and where you're going, and hold on to that energy with this eclipse. Okay, if you are manifesting, if you are saying any sort of prayers or setting intentions, again, like it's fine, because as long as you're vibrating at this high frequency, that's what matters the most. Okay, so be proud of yourself and be very excited for what's to come for you. Okay, be very excited for what's to come for you. With that said, anyone have any questions? Marty, you're saying go to your brunch. I will. I'm gonna. Okay, so y'all, again, y'all are amazing. I don't even know how. Y'all are just so amazing. Y'all are so amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I will have your readings out this week for what's going on with equinox. Happy equinox. So again, big shift that's happening with the equinox next week. there's a lot happening. There really is truly a lot happening. But just be proud of yourselves and continue to, do you. Just do you. Be your authentic self. Okay. Cut through any fog. I'm gonna go to my brunch. I gotta go eat. Y'all are amazing. So anyway, thank you so much. I'll post this. You can ask questions through the thing, but y'all are amazing. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. I know I gotta go. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy eclipse, and let me know. Let me know how it goes for you. Okay. Thank you, y'all. Thanks, all of y'all. All right. Bye bye. All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend, y'all. All right. Bye bye.